is a lot of advice on the internet about homeschooling, but there are a few things that just aren't spoken about enough. There are some key truths that I want to share with you today. So whether you are new to home education, and this could be the first time you're hearing this, or maybe you've been homeschooling for years, and this episode will serve as a good reminder. Either way, I'm certain that this episode is going to encourage you. Intrigued? Well, you better keep listening then.
This is Raising Mums, the podcast that raises up Muslim mums like you so that you can raise your children well. And here's your host, Dr. Gemma.
I have got my head down at the moment preparing for the Modern Miss Mason conference this coming weekend, and all my focus and all my brain power is going into preparing my talk for that conference. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also incredibly excited. This has been a dream of mine for a really long time to speak at an in-person event like this about something that I'm incredibly passionate about, and that is making the most of motherhood. So I cannot wait to meet all of you there, or any of you who are coming down to Coventry for the weekend for that conference. I really look forward to meeting you all there. I was also invited to speak at a different conference recently. This was an online homeschooling summit that was very inclusive, very diverse, and it was fantastic to be a part of it. And during that summit, I was interviewed. And one of the questions I was asked was, what advice would you give to brand new homeschoolers? And so I gave my answer. But by the end of my response, the host was in tears. She said that was so powerful, that was so moving. And so I thought I'd share my answer to her question with you today. Not because I want you to all be crying, I'm sure you won't be, but because I hope that you will also find some value in it. And so whilst this question was to brand new homeschoolers, I think this really applies to anyone who is undertaking that journey of educating their children at home. I think that we all need to hear this. But before we get into that, I have a very quick message for you from Juliana, who is a mother from inside Launch Your Homeschool, my online homeschooling course for Muslim parents.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Juliana. I have 3 children aged 3, 6, and 8. I've joined Launch Your Homeschool because I wanted some guidance. I just felt confused. I didn't know how to go about morning baskets, or what am I doing? Is this okay? Is this not? And the course has a beautiful outline and it helped me a lot. And I still go back to it many times. So thank you. I love the workshops and the continuity of learning and the book clubs. So it is a great resource, and I would definitely buy it again if I had to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Juliana. It's been amazing to get to know you over the past year and see the education that you are providing for your children. Launch Your Homeschool is the step-by-step guide for Muslim parents who want to educate their children at home. And we are reopening enrollment on the 29th of July, and I would love for you to join us. If you're interested in finding out more, put your name on the waiting list. Go to launchyourhomeschool.com and I will send you more information nearer to the time. That's launchyourhomeschool.com. If you are a homeschooling parent, if you are planning to homeschool in the future, there are 3 truths you need to know. I know that you're overwhelmed. I know that you look online and you see all the curriculum, all the subjects, all the beautiful things on Instagram that people are doing, all the things that you could be doing, all the things that you feel you should be doing, and you feel incredibly overwhelmed by it all. And I want you to know that you do not need to do them all. You don't need to do them all. Nobody does. Instead of trying to do everything, feeling overwhelmed and stressed about how you can possibly do this yourself, instead focus on doing one thing at a time. Focus on what feels right to you now and begin there. And when you're ready, add in something else. But you do not need to do it all. Nobody does. The second truth that you need to know: I know that you worry about the future. I know that you worry about your children. Are you doing the right thing? Are you just making everything worse? Is all of this going to be worth it? At the end of it all, will your child have the education that they need, and will they get it in time? Will they be ready for college? Will they be ready for their exams? Will they be ready for whatever needs they have in the future? But I want you to know there is no rush. There is no rush. Education is not a race. Instead of racing and rushing and hurrying through your child's education, focus on making consistent and steady progress. If you look at your child's education at the end of every week, at the end of every month, are they progressing? Are they growing? Are they learning more? It's easy to become overwhelmed when you look too far in the future. If you've got a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old in front of you, and you think, how on earth am I going to get him ready for his exams, for his university? Well, that's because you're looking too far in the future. Pull it back a bit. Instead of looking that far in the head and trying to race to this destination that is so far in the future, just consider, what is the next step? You taught your child his colours. So what's the next step after that? You taught your child his ABCs. So what's the next step after that? Smaller, more manageable goals, the goals that are within your grasp. And you will see your child consistently growing and learning. And that is what you should be aiming for. Remember, there is no rush. And finally, I know that you worry about doing enough with your child. You worry about whether you are enough for your child. But after close to a decade in this work, I have yet to meet a homeschooler who regretted their time with their children, who regretted their decision to homeschool their kids. But I have met many women who regret wasting so much time and so much energy worrying about things that they cannot control. You will not regret this time you spend with your children. Instead of thinking, am I enough? Am I enough for my child? Remember that you have been placed in this position right now, today, homeschooling your children by God. Allah placed you here right now with your child for a reason. You were made for this moment. Everything in your life has led up to now, when you are sitting across from your kitchen table with your child. You were made for this moment. You are enough. And so let's run through those 3 truths again. The first one, you do not need to do it all. The second one, there is no rush. And finally, you were made for this moment. You are enough. Maybe you want to write those 3 truths down and share them with a friend. And as you go about your homeschooling day, you can refer back to these to give you a sense of calm and a sense of purpose. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. Don't forget to share this episode out with your friends. Have a beautiful week. Assalamu alaikum.